Hello everyone, welcome to Scott Rods. Today I'm going to do a quick review on some budget tools you can buy in Canada. In the USA you have Harbour Freight, which sells a lot of like the Chinese cheap tools. In Canada we've got Princess Auto, and there seem to be opening up new branches in every province, so it's looking good. So as I say, I'm going to do a quick review. Now all these tools that I'm going to review are 110 volt power tools, not air tools, and the reason for that is I bought a compressor a couple of years ago, and it was, well, it's in that corner, and it's just not powerful enough for air tools. It just runs out, and then it runs out of compression, then you've got the motor firing up the compressor. Da, 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 da. It's really loud and it's not neighbour friendly. Now the disadvantage with electrical power tools over air tools, if I just grab this half-inch electric, what would you call this? It's not a drill. It's, you know, it's for wheel nuts and heavy duty stuff. It works well. I'll show you later. But as you can see, it's huge, because unlike the air tools, everything has to be in here. The power, the motor, everything has got to be in this section, and that's going to be the same with all electrical power tools over air tools. So that is a disadvantage. So working with this a lot, it's heavy, it's going to take a lot out of you, so that's one disadvantage. But if you don't have the space and the noise acceptance in your area for a compressor, then this is the way to go, especially for occasional use. So as I say, I will go through them one at a time. It's not going to be in depth, but it'll give you an idea of what you get for your money and roughly the price you'll get it for. Okay.
So let's have a look at our victims. We have a 14-inch cut-off saw for metal use. We have a cordless drill set. I'll show you what that comes with later. We have a couple of 5-inch angle grinders. We have a metal shear. These are all Power Fist from Princess Auto, except for this, which is Mastercraft, which is Canadian Tire's brand, I believe. Everything I got here was on sale. And also I have this little grinder sander set up. So we'll do a quick review of each one at a time.
Let's start off with the big one, shall we? Impact driver, Mastercraft. This thing is just, it's huge, but it is heavy duty and it does work. For size comparison, this is your kind of standard low duty, normal duty cordless drill, okay? There's the size difference, and obviously this is a lot heavier. It's got a heavy duty motor in there. You will, it's got quite a tight fit for your half-inch drive sockets, which is good because it means that you're not going to get any wobble at this point. Trigger is, top one is clockwise, so that will be tightening. The bottom anti-clockwise, counterclockwise loosening, okay? It's quite easy to use. There's no little switch that you have to go between. It's like on, off, Bob's your auntie, okay? As I say, this is quite a tight fit, and I've used this quite a lot, but I'm happy with that. If that was loose, then it would just wear out faster, so you want that tight. And just to give you an idea of what this can do, I removed seized bolts from my Dodge Ram, and they're pretty heavy duty, and this guy managed to get them off. Mostly I just use it for getting lug nuts off fast, because I'm lazy that way. But it does the job. This was about $85 on sale, and in Canadian Tire you've always got things on sale. At least once a month this will come up cheap. much like everything they have a weekly flyer, and there's different things every week. Okay, on to the next thing. Angle grinders. Every auto shop, everyone has angle grinders, okay? Now what I've found with Princess Auto, everything from now on is Princess Auto tools, okay? And their brand seems to be this Power Fist brand. Again, it's going to be cheap Chinese, get what you pay for, but what I like about these are the 5-inch disc types, right? So these are all able to take 5-inch discs. But don't let that put you off. You can still fit in the 4.5 discs if they come up cheap. You've got a bit of a distance there, which is fine. Okay. Now what I love about the 5-inch, you get this nice long handle with the trigger underneath, right? Which just makes it so much better to control. A lot of them have the switch up here, and then you know, if you get vibration or if the shaft starts wobbling, it sometimes cuts off, but you can switch it back on quickly with this. You've also got a little lock there. Okay, so far these have been good, and I usually get these on sale about $35 each, which is actually pretty good for Canadian tools. The equivalent, I think, in Harbor Freight in America would be Drill Master or something like that, and they're even cheaper, but this is pretty good for what you get. And so far these have not broken, and I use these a lot, as you've probably seen in my previous videos. And at $35, you know, you can buy a whole set, and you can have one with your wire brush, one with your sander, one with your cutting discs. It's great. It's much easier than having to remove this every time you want to do a different job. So that's angle grinders. Our next victim, 18-volt cordless drill set. This was a big surprise to me, because these things normally anywhere from $60 upwards for one drill, one battery, okay? In this kit you get your drill, obviously, but you also get a spare battery. That's where the charger would go. So for a pretty decent drill, actually, again, it's quite big because, you know, it's cordless. Everything has to be included in this, power, motor, everything. But for a decent drill, for $40 this cost me for the set, and it even comes with a couple of bits, couple of drills, and the little the adapter up there for the bit set. So $40 on sale. That was really good, and that will come up again on Princess Auto. It's got the usual different ratchety, oh, what do you call that? I'll show you. Okay, if you're drilling something and you meet resistance, less resistance than that. Okay, change that to 5, and then I can't hold it. You know, I can't remember the terminology. It's also got the setting for drill, so that it won't stop when it meets resistance. So overall, pretty good set. I'm happy with that. Again, $40, can't go wrong. Next, electric metal shear. Okay, I've wanted one of these for so long. I just could never really justify it, but this came up on sale for, I think it was $60, and I couldn't resist. Now the great thing about this, well, the downside, first of all, again, over air tools, it's quite bulky, and you might think, well, what if I'm cutting there, the handle's going to hit? Well, this actually rotates, comes with a little Allen key, and you just undo, I think it's just that there, and then the whole thing rotates, so you can cut like that if you want. So anyway, let's see how this works. Plug it in, give it a shot. There is definitely one disadvantage to this type of shear. Bearing in mind I used to cut metal with these, which requires a lot of effort. This is 18 gauge steel, and as soon as you start cutting with the manual stuff, you can see it starts it starts bending up, making things really awkward. So let's try the electric. So I plan to just cut straight line to begin with. Should probably put this in a clamp, but you know. No problem at all. Now here's the downside I was talking about. Let's say I want to cut a section in half, okay? So let's say I want this square, but I want to, I know I've not cut it in the middle, but let's pretend that line was in the middle, okay? So let's say I've got this square rectangle and I want to cut it in a perfect half. This is what happens. As you can see, this section is not the same size as that section, because when you cut with these things, it takes like a 1/4 inch metal with it. So that is a disadvantage. You're not going to be able to cut things in half. Let's try a little curve. That's rubbish. Let's try cut that and see what happens, okay? Should point out, I've never used this before other than testing it. So I went a wee bit off. But you know, with a bit of practice, I should be able to get a nice curve. I don't imagine I would get much tighter than that. But not bad, not bad. And it's a very clean cut. So overall, I'm really happy with this thing. I've not used it yet. I will be using this a lot when I start doing body panels. But for the money, can't beat that. Love it.
This is my 14-inch cut-off saw, which I use to cut such items as steel pipe, angle iron, and today I'm going to try this, which is what, 1.5 inch by 3.5 inch steel, which I use to make the hot rod frame. I have never tried this thickness before. This will be interesting to see if it actually cuts it. So what do you get? You get the machine, you get one disc with it, that's brand new. But these discs are about $14 or $15 from Home Depot anywhere. It's a fairly standard size. And that's as much as you can really use for this disc. After that it starts, you don't actually get the cut that you would like because of the guard at this side, this slot. So let's start with the angle iron. We'll cut a bit of tube and then we'll go for the big boy.
This will be rather loud, so I will turn the volume down a bit first. You've also got a 45-degree angle adjustment either way, which is quite nice. You've got a big Allen key to adjust that. Let's go on to this. Obviously I wasn't expecting any problem cutting this little guy. It's fine. Let's try a bit of pipe. As you can see, this is quite a thick gauge pipe. I used this for my exhaust headers, and you can check out the video for that. It's 350 small block custom headers, if you search for that in my videos. It does take a bit longer to cut this because it's quite a bit thicker. So the one downside to using this sort of machine to cut metal is you end up with that nonsense at the end. But just a little file will take that off and get rid of all the nasty stuff on the inside. Okay. Okay, let's try the big one. Kind of worried about this because I don't want to ruin my. Just being a cheap Scotsman. Let's try this. You have to fast forward this bit because it will take a while. Wasn't expecting that. It gave up. I don't think I've broken it. I think it maybe just overheated. Let's see if it still works. Nope, it's dead. I shall investigate and see what happened. Panic over. Plug came out. Sometimes you just need to stop and make sure you're not setting the place on fire. So that actually went surprisingly well. I was expecting that to take longer. So that's good to know. It means I can cut this without fear, and I can do like 45-degree angles and such. Awesome. So overall, I'm really happy with this machine. I don't use it often, but it's very handy for just chopping stuff down without having to get your angle grinder out and risking a disintegrated disc flying at your face. Okay, one more to do. Oh, I forgot to mention the cut-off machine was about $79 on sale, so again, pretty good for the money. Okay, on to this. Actually, this is my least favourite tool. Or not so much my least favourite, but I think it's the least effective tool. It's just not very powerful. You know, you'll see when I use it, it slows down fairly quickly. Now, the big thing I don't like about this, you should be using like thicker gloves than this, and this tiny little switch in here is just kind of awkward if you've got big gloves on. But it's fine with these gloves, but I wouldn't use these gloves for generally for work because these burn through, as you can tell by the holes. Anyway, let's see how it grinds down this little bit of metal. It does have a nice little light, which doesn't really do much. So it does the job. Does the job. Slows down a bit. It didn't actually slow down there as much as I thought it would. So overall it's pretty good. Now this was about $60 for this, again on sale. But the base cost another, I think it was another $60 for the base. Now you could probably just make your own if you want. But I just figured for the price it was actually okay. So that's all I'm going to review today. So obviously these are very limited reviews and who knows how long they'll last. But the point I'm trying to make is you don't have to spend a fortune on Milwaukee or DeWalt, all that kind of stuff, if you just want to get on with the job. You know, you can save up for DeWalt and Milwaukee and all those expensive things. But I'd rather spend my money on car parts than tools. But it does mean that the average hobbyist, home car mechanic, can actually afford to get these tools and get on with the job. So I hope you found some sort of enjoyment in this and got something out of it. Don't be afraid to try out these Princess Auto tools. There'll be one near you, I'm sure. They're opening up all the time. Great company. If there's anything goes wrong, take it back. It's not like if you buy direct from China, you know, it's a nightmare to try and return it. If it gets faulty, just take it to nearest Princess Auto. Probably need your receipt, so keep that in a box somewhere, and they will return it. And if they don't have the same model, they will, you know, give you the latest one that's out for the same value. But yeah, I like Princess Auto. I also like Canadian Tire, but Princess Auto is my go-to tool shop. Thanks for watching. I will see you in the next one.